way to get some deeper exhaust notes and some more street appeal for your 2007 through 2006 4-liter TJ Wrangler, this Flowmaster FlowFX Catback exhaust with the black tip will be a great option to consider. Now this system will do a great job at adding some of those aggressive tones that you may be looking for with a mild volume increase, making it a great choice if you enjoy hearing the exhaust when you get on it, but want to maintain a comfortable day-to-day driving experience inside the cab. Now when it comes to that volume, this is going to be a 3 out of 5 on the loudness meter, with 1 being completely stock and 5 being Wake the Neighbors Loud, putting this right in the middle. This is also going to be up your alley if you're looking for an exhaust that brings a better look to the table with the black tip design on the back compared to the factory one. Again, this will offer a moderate volume increase, but it's really going to deepen the tone and create a rich tone, which will be sure to turn some heads while not getting too drony inside the cab while you're cruising. Now you're also going to free up a decent amount of restriction compared to the factory system, which will help with some smaller power gains and efficiency gains. I wouldn't call this a power mod, but it definitely is going to help you because of the increase in flow. The system will feature the FlowFX straight through style muffler, which will be responsible for that higher flow and the sound, and it's also going to be significantly smaller than the factory one, which will help when it comes to clearance. This will be made of a 2.5-inch mandrel bent 409 stainless steel material, offering good rust resistance in most climates, so this is going to hold up structurally very well. Now the tip will be a bit larger at 3.5 inches with a dual wall design, adding more of a premium appearance to it. It is going to have an angle cut to it and a black ceramic coating on top for a sleeker or stealthier appearance for your TJ, but also to protect the materials underneath. This will also reuse all of the factory hanger locations and come with everything that you need for a straightforward fit, so you don't have to worry about modifying your current exhaust or welding this up. This will come in at roughly $425, which isn't bad for what you're getting out of this kit. Compared to other systems on the page, this will offer a solid construction with a 409, which will be more rust resistant compared to factory and lower quality materials. It's also going to save you a few bucks compared to some more premium materials, which I think is a great compromise when looking for an exhaust system. Now, I think if you want a solid system that's going to sound good for your 4-liter, have the looks to match while saving you a few bucks in the long run, then this is going to be a great pick. Install will be a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. Like I said, you're not going to have to do any welding, modification, cutting for this exhaust system. It is a complete bolt-on construction, so it's only going to take you about an hour to get the job done. However, one of our customers has installed this on their TJ and is going to walk you through what that process looks like. So that is going to wrap it up for my review. Let's go ahead and get into the install.
We have the WD-40 to loosen up the hangers for the stock tailpipe that was holding on, the rubber grommets there. So that allowed us to get the old one off and the new one on. And then it also helped to get the 4 skid plate nuts back on. We use a wrench with a 13 millimeter for the 4 skid plate nuts. We use the 18 millimeter for the skid plate 6 bolts holding that on. And we used a 15 and a 17 millimeter for some of the installation bolts, getting the old muffler off and the new muffler on. And then we also used it for the shock that we had moved to the side in order to thread the tailpipe through. We used the screwdriver for when I got one of the 4 nuts stuck in the 13 millimeter that popped it free, and then also used it to wedge the tailpipe section, the stock one, out of the hanger. We used the 15 millimeter also on some of those nuts. Use it on the shock to help get that off. We had the high temperature anti-seize. As recommended, we coated the muffler nut, that bracket that I wanted installed, with that, and we used the stand here to hold the transmission while the skid plate was off, so that the whole transmission didn't sag. We used this to twist up on it for more pressure when needed. We used a pry bar for the removal of the shock when it was in a way when we were trying to install the new tailpipe section. And we have the old Sawzall here with the metal blade for removing the factory tailpipe. So those are all the tools that we used during this installation. All right, we're gonna install the new Flowmaster exhaust on the 2004 Jeep Wrangler TJ. Comes with a new muffler, tailpipe, and some bolts. Part number 717865. Step one is to support the transmission with the jack and then remove the skid plate. So we're gonna get under there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 nuts, and then on each side there are 1, 2, 3 bolts. So for the nuts, I'm gonna use a 13 millimeter. All right, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, we're gonna work on the 3 bolts holding up the skid plate on either side. All right, now we got 3 bolts for the skid plate, and we got ourselves a 18 millimeter. Let's do. All right, that's 3. On to the next side. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3 bolts on the other side, and then the skid plate will come down. So I got to help her on the other end so it doesn't come crashing down. Coming down, and it's off. All right, the next step is to cut the tailpipe where it meets the muffler right here. So we're gonna go ahead and do that with the Sawzall. And done. Okay, the next step just says to remove the tailpipe hanger, which is right here. So we're starting at the end. There's 2 of these. So I'm just gonna spray some WD-40 on it and then try to pry it off. There's one. We'll get the next one. Okay, so we followed the tailpipe along, and right back here where we did our cut with the muffler, there's the second one. So I'm going to spray that and pry that one off too. All right, that thing is off now. All right, now that we got the tailpipe section removed, we're gonna move to the muffler here, and we have 2 more nuts that come off that hold the muffler up here. And we're gonna use a 15 millimeter. You gotta hold the muffler as I work here so it doesn't come down. One. And 2. Slide it out. And that is it for the removal process. All right, so the first step for a reinstall is to take your clamp that comes with the kit to hold the tailpipe section to the new muffler. Disassemble it, put some anti-seize on it, and then reassemble it. So we'll go ahead and do that now. All right, got a nice coating on there of high temp anti-seize. So let's put this bad boy back together. Squeeze it. Put this little guy on. Got a flat washer. And finally, the nut. Alright, so reassembled and covered in high temp anti-seize. So the next step will be to reinstall the new muffler, and then we used a 15 millimeter to take those factory nuts off, and it looks like we're going to use a 17 millimeter to put the new nuts on that come with the kit. So crawl back under. Alright, so we're back under. We're at the catalytic converter where we took the old one off. Let's put the new one on. There we go. Now the words are the right way. Not sure it matters. And we've got 2 flat washers and 2 nuts. 17 millimeters, so different than the size that we took off. Alright, finger tight. And we'll get to work. Down there pretty tight. Alright, and then finally on the end here, where we just took our collar, I'll just go ahead and slip that on the end, real loose type, because it's going to be a snug fit getting that tailpipe section back on. So we'll grab that piece and then we'll start routing it in. All right, we're going to remove the rear shock because the tailpipe will not fit where it came from.
We're going to reposition it. So stay on there. I'm about ready to run my air plant impact over here, but I don't think I got quite that much of a line. Good. Yep. Hey, look at how that is. You might have to wrench on this to get it out. Nope. Maybe not. see that boat's falling out. They're good for us.
Yep. Alright, so what are we gonna do? We're gonna pry that thing out?
Yeah, but I was looking for the best screwdriver you have here. Will that get it through in that little gap?
Yep. That?
Yeah, well, that is. I was going to go this way, but your way's fine too.
However you want to get it in there.
Push it out. Yeah. Now, see how that just sits there like that?
Alright, now let's get that tailpipe through.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
You're up over the line.
Over the line. Wait a minute, were we on this side or we were on the other side before? Like this, okay. There you go. Stick that in that hole.
Put it in the keeper.
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, you got it. So that's an 18 millimeter nut and a 15 millimeter bolt. Well, let me flip it the other way. Alright.
Sure, I'm glad I was right about that. And we didn't have to put it back on and do something different.
Yep.
Felt like that's what it was.
Alright. Alright, now we can install the muffler. Right? Yeah, I'm going to have to remove it off the hanger so we can go a little bit further. Flat washer and 17. Pretty tight.
Wow. That wire's not going in there. There you go.
Yep.
There you go, give a show. Let me get this one off first.
Yep.
Okay, spin it back up. There you go. Raise it up a little bit. There you go. Perfect. Okay, now can you get yours?
You're in?
Yep. Sure is. Now we need a deep socket or a wrench.
Deep socket,
Or
15?
yeah, or a wrench, either one. It's just the thread's coming out. Which is probably tight enough, but because you know after the thing gets wet and rusts a bunch, it's gonna be. You know what I mean, Nick? After it gets wet. That's the thing about exhaust leak. All you gotta do is give it some time. All that rust and crud, it'll rust up and crud up, and that'll be that.
We'll put the keepers. Well, it's definitely not coming off.
Yeah,
So
because-
one, and then on the second one.
There you go.
All right, second hanger keepers on. All right, final step is the skid plate. We're gonna install it again. So it's gonna be 1, 2, 3 bolts on the left side and the right side. And then we have right here the 4 bolts in the middle. So let's get the skid plate on. Ready? Gotta get the 4 in the middle lined up. Well, you see the 4 in the middle? Yep.
Okay, I'm on this bolt. So when I'm on this bolt, that should be. Let's get these 4 on there. It kills me, them kids getting that late already. They were in last week like it was nothing.
Yep. These things are
You know, you could put some of that aniseed on there. I'm an antifreeze freak. Tough as that thing's turning. Let's put some oil on them, Nick. That shouldn't turn that hard when it's not even bottomed out yet. You got that WD-40, that'll make a big difference. Especially since I can put it right here and see it'll go down through the nut. Well, maybe. Okay, it's a little bit.
going on easier.
Oh, hell yeah. And that the rust on rust? Yep. Quite a bit. Rust on rust.
All tight.
Yeah, good deal.
All right, and that was the 13 millimeter and then 18 millimeters.
So that is going to wrap it up for my review and the install of this Flowmaster FlowFX catback exhaust system with the black tip, fitting all 2000 through 2006 4-liter TJ Wranglers, and you can find this right here at extremeterrain.com.